everyone, happy Monday. Today I'm going to be trimming the piggy's nails, so I thought I'd show you how I do it, what I use, any emergency supplies that I have off to the side, as well as distractions for the piggies. Stay tuned. So before we get started, there's just a couple supplies you'll need on hand to trim your piggy's nails. I thought I'd show you the ones that I have set aside. So obviously, in order to cut their nails, you're going to need nail clippers. I'm a little bit more comfortable maneuvering these than the pet nail clippers. You could also use those. For emergency purposes, I know I've mentioned this before, but you're going to want to have styptic powder set aside. Basically, it's used to stop bleeding. So how a guinea pig's nail is set up, if they have white nails, you'll see it the best. You're going to want to cut just the tip, just a little white tip, which is the dead nail. You'll also see a pink part in the center. That's called the quick. It's basically a vein. So when you're clipping, you do want to try to avoid that, but unfortunately accidents do happen. If you do clip the quick and it does start bleeding, that's where the styptic powder comes into play. So there's two ways you can apply it. You can either take the piggy's foot and just kind of dunk it into the powder, or you can have a Q-tip, get a little powder on there, and then you can just apply this to the piggy's nail. So the other thing I like to have off to the side when you're clipping their nails is what I like to call distractions. So I would just have a bowl of fresh veggies off to the side that they can munch on. It kind of keeps their mind off of things while you're clipping them. If those don't work, you can also have some cookies off to the side. Whatever you can do just to kind of keep their mind occupied, hey, it would even work just fine. My initial goal was to describe what I was doing while I was doing it, but seeing as how my priorities were focusing on the safety of the piggies and not explaining the process, I'm doing a voiceover for you. Terra was today's first victim. I gave her a cucumber as a distraction while I got ready to trim her nails. Before you clip the nail, make sure you have a good grip on the piggy to prevent any potential injuries from them jerking around. Guinea pigs can be a bit squirmy depending on the piggy's personality. Terra is definitely one of the squirmy ones. I use both of my hands to not only support the pig, but to hold their paw in place as well. If the piggy does move or it seems like they're done holding still, give them a break. The important thing is to take your time. It's not worth rushing and hurting your piggy in the process. Fun fact, which you probably already know, but guinea pigs have 4 nails on the front foot and only 3 on the back. Here I'm holding Terra up against my chest for support. This way she is secure and I'm not only able to have a good grip on her, but a good view for what I am clipping as well. As you can see, the second she started trying to break free, I let her down gently and gave her a break. We took frequent breaks and had multiple stacks. Sometimes you just have to trim one nail at a time if that's all that the piggy will allow. I apologize for the bad angle here, but again, my focus was to safely clip her nails. I'm holding her up against my chest for support and to easily grab this particular foot. Here as well, my hand is holding her against my chest to secure her for her back foot. For Terra's last foot, I have one hand and one wrist holding her in place, while my fingers are holding the paw still that I need to trim. As you can see, I'm taking my time, making sure the clippers are lined up correct before I start to trim. And once she's done, I let her rest for a second before I return her back home. Good girl. Good girl. You all done? Luna is my most difficult piggy for several reasons. For starters, there are slight issues with both of her back feet. One foot has a weird nail, the other foot is her only foot with all black nails. She is also my squirmiest. On this foot, her middle toe is misshapen. Instead of curving downwards like a crescent moon, it almost looks like a corkscrew. Not only that, but this nail is a little hard to see the quick, so I just trim the tip. I go especially slow on this foot, and I try to be as careful that I can. Because Luna is so squirmy, I usually have to give her a break after clipping each nail. Sometimes I'm lucky and can get a foot done before she needs to rest. Because of this, I'm only going to show the clipping of her back nails. For her other foot, her nails are all black, so it's extremely difficult to see the quick. Just to be safe, I clip only the tip of the nail on this side. If I were to clip too much by mistake, I have my styptic powder ready to go just in case. The same tips apply no matter the piggy. Have a good grip, trim only when safe, and give them frequent breaks and snacks. Here, I'm holding her up against my chest for support. This was the only way to safely trim her back foot where I had visual of the nails and she wasn't able to squirm as much. Caelum was the easiest and the hardest for me. He was the most cooperative one, but not without complaint. He is very tame, but he's not a huge fan of being held, and he especially doesn't like his tummy being touched, which is a little hard to avoid. He's also my only biter, which makes me a little nervous. I made sure to give him a snack right away for distraction, and for him it doubled as stress eating. All in all, though, he holds pretty still once I have his paw in my hand to trim. The noise he is making is him complaining. He is not in any kind of pain. He just wants to let me know he does not enjoy having his nails trimmed. As you can see, he is really good at keeping still, and when he did need a break, I gave it to him right away. I also comfort with pets in between trimmings, so he doesn't associate the entire experience as a traumatic one. Because I know he hates his stomach being touched, I gave him as long as I felt he needed to calm down. There's no use forcing a nail cutting on an obviously upset piggy. You will just make the stressful situation even more stressful for them. He held pretty still, so I didn't always have to hold his entire body, just the paw that I was working on. I try to pick him up as little as possible, but sometimes I have to readjust his position so I'm able to see his nails. Those almost purring noises are unhappy ones, but not in pain. It's almost like he knew I had to do this but wasn't going to keep quiet. This is the first time I cut Caelum's nails by myself. We took him home about 4 months ago now. One of the first things I noticed when we took him home was how long his nails were, and they were really bad. I had my boyfriend hold him, and we fed him a cookie the first time because we had no idea how he would react, especially since his nails were so long, we weren't sure how often they were trimmed. I do believe having the snack for him prevented him from biting me. The reason I was scraping his nails is a little gross. He still occasionally has soft stool issues, which unfortunately he steps on and it sticks on his nails. I wash their paws with a damp towel to try to get off most of it as often as I am able. And I'm not squeezing the paw. I'm just holding it to make sure all of their nails are separated so that when I do trim, I'm only cutting the intended nail. I think that's it, we're all done. Good boy. And that's how I trim the piggy's nails. This is something you're going to want to do every month or two or as needed if their nails grow a little bit slower than that. I would recommend following a schedule so that way you kind of have an idea of when they're going to need their nails clipped. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the little bell so you'll know when the next video is available. We post new videos every Monday morning, including educational, how-tos, and fun tidbits, as well as a vlog update on Wednesday. If you have any questions or future video suggestions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have a safe and a lovely day.